What I'm about to tell you about stress and weight gain took me 4 years and over $12,000 in nutritionists, personal trainers, and medical appointments to learn. You are getting it right now for free in the next 10 minutes. Picture this. It's 11 p.m. Sarah is standing in her kitchen staring into the fridge. She has eaten clean all week. No sugar, no processed food. She hit the gym 4 times, and yet when she stepped on the scale this morning, she had gained 2 pounds. Sound familiar? She did everything right, and her body still betrayed her. Here is what no one told Sarah, and what no one has told you. The number on that scale has almost nothing to do with what she ate. It has everything to do with what happened in her body at 7 a.m. when her boss sent that email. Stay with me, because what you are about to hear is going to completely change the way you think about your body. For decades, the health and wellness industry sold you one story. Calories in, calories out, eat less, move more. And if that wasn't working for you, well, clearly you weren't trying hard enough. You believed it, you blamed yourself, you tried another diet, another meal plan, another fitness program, and somewhere deep down, a part of you started to feel like your body was broken. But here is the truth they never wanted you to know. Your body is not broken. You were given the wrong information. In 2023, a study published in the journal Obesity Reviews analyzed data from over 40,000 adults across 19 countries. The researchers found that individuals with chronically elevated cortisol, that is your primary stress hormone, were significantly more likely to carry excess abdominal weight regardless of their caloric intake. Let me say that again. Regardless of caloric intake. The mainstream advice you have been following was designed around an incomplete model of human biology. And the people selling you diet plans knew it. That sense of betrayal you feel right now? Hold on to it, because it is going to motivate you to actually fix this. Let me tell you what actually happens inside your body on a stressful day. It is 7:14 a.m. Your alarm goes off late. You are already behind. Your nervous system immediately fires your adrenal glands, which flood your bloodstream with cortisol and adrenaline. This is your ancient fight-or-flight system kicking in. The same system your ancestors used to escape predators. Your body does not know the difference between a saber-toothed tiger and a passive-aggressive email from your manager named Kevin. It responds identically. Here is where it gets dangerous. Cortisol tells your liver to release glucose into your bloodstream for emergency energy. Simultaneously, it signals your body to hold on to fat, particularly in the abdominal region, as a survival reserve. Your insulin levels spike to manage that blood sugar surge. And when insulin is elevated, fat burning is completely switched off. Completely. You could be eating 1,200 calories of perfectly clean food, and if cortisol is chronically high, your body is physiologically locked out of fat loss mode. This is not a theory. This is basic endocrinology. And it has been documented in peer-reviewed literature since at least 1998, when Dr. Alyssa Eppel at UCSF first published her landmark research connecting psychological stress directly to visceral fat accumulation. You were never told this. That is the problem. Now here is where it gets worse. Because chronic stress does not just block fat loss, it actively drives fat storage and creates a cycle that most people never escape. When cortisol is elevated long-term, and for most people in 2024, it is elevated from the moment their eyes open to the moment their phone dies at midnight. It triggers a specific peptide called neuropeptide Y. Neuropeptide Y amplifies cravings for high-calorie, high-sugar, high-fat foods. This is not weak willpower. This is a neurochemical command issued by a stressed brain trying to survive. So you eat the thing you told yourself you would not eat. Then you feel guilty. Guilt creates more stress. More stress spikes cortisol. Cortisol triggers more cravings, and the cycle locks in tighter. Meanwhile, elevated cortisol is simultaneously suppressing your thyroid function, which is your metabolism's control dial. A 2019 study in Frontiers in Endocrinology showed that chronically stressed individuals had measurably lower T3 thyroid hormone activity, meaning their resting metabolic rate was significantly reduced. Your body is burning fewer calories at rest because stress told it to slow down and conserve. You are fighting biology with willpower, and biology wins every single time. If you are sitting there right now thinking this explains everything, it does. But wait, because the story gets even more specific. Here is the pattern interrupt you need right now. Stop thinking about your weight as a food problem. It is a nervous system problem, and that single reframe is worth more than every diet book ever written. Think about the people you know who seem to eat whatever they want and never gain weight. You probably assume they had great genetics. Some of them do. But research published in Psychosomatic Medicine in 2014 showed that the #1 lifestyle factor distinguishing lean individuals from overweight individuals with identical diets was not exercise frequency. It was perceived stress levels and the quality of their stress recovery. The lean individuals were not less busy. They were not eating magic foods. They had nervous systems that recovered faster. Their cortisol returned to baseline more quickly after stressful events. Their bodies spent more time in a parasympathetic state, what scientists call rest and digest mode, where fat burning, cellular repair, and hormone regulation actually happen. So the question is no longer, how do I eat to lose weight? The real question is, how do I regulate my nervous system so my body is biologically allowed to lose weight? And that question has a very specific, very science-backed answer. Your body has a master reset system. It is called the HPA axis, the hypothalamic-pituitary-adrenal axis, and it controls how much cortisol floods your system and, critically, how fast it clears. When the HPA axis is dysregulated, cortisol stays elevated for hours after a stressor has passed. When it is functioning correctly, cortisol spikes fast and drops fast. Your body stresses, recovers, and returns to a fat-burning baseline. So how do you regulate the HPA axis? 3 evidence-based mechanisms. First, sleep architecture, not just hours, architecture. Deep, slow-wave sleep is when your brain physically clears cortisol metabolites and resets adrenal sensitivity. A 2013 study in Sleep Journal found that even one night of fragmented sleep increased next-day cortisol by up to 37% and measurably increased appetite for high-calorie foods. One night, 37%. Second, breathing patterns. Controlled diaphragmatic breathing, specifically a 4-7-8 pattern, activates the vagus nerve and triggers the parasympathetic system within 90 seconds. This is documented in over 50 peer-reviewed papers. 90 seconds to biologically shift your body out of cortisol-dominant mode. Third, targeted adaptogenic compounds. This is where the science gets genuinely exciting. Adaptogens are a class of plant-based compounds that have been shown in clinical trials to directly modulate the HPA axis, essentially teaching your stress response to be more efficient. Ashwagandha root extract, specifically the KSM-66 formulation studied in a randomized controlled trial published in the Indian Journal of Psychological Medicine in 2012, reduced cortisol levels by 27.9% over 60 days in chronically stressed adults. Rhodiola rosea, studied extensively in Scandinavian research since the 1960s, was shown in a 2009 trial in phytomedicine to reduce cortisol response to acute stress by a statistically significant margin. These are not wellness trends. These are studied compounds with mechanisms of action that directly address the root cause of stress-driven weight gain. Here is what all of this means for you. You have been fighting the wrong battle. Every calorie you counted, every meal you skipped, every morning you forced yourself to the gym on 4 hours of sleep and 3 cups of coffee. You were pushing against a biological current that your diet could never overcome alone. This is not your fault. The system you were handed was designed to keep you buying the next solution without ever giving you the actual answer. The actual answer is this: your body is always listening to your nervous system first. Before it processes a single macro, before it responds to a single workout, it checks in with your stress hormones and asks, are we safe? Are we in survival mode? Or are we thriving? When the answer is survival, fat stays on, metabolism slows down, cravings intensify. When the answer is thriving, fat burns, muscle builds, energy returns. Every person watching this who has ever felt like their body was working against them, it was not. It was working exactly as designed. You were just sending it the wrong signal. And now you know how to change that signal. Let me give you a practical daily protocol built on everything we just covered. This is not another diet. This is a nervous system regulation strategy. Morning. Within 20 minutes of waking, before you check your phone, drink 500 milliliters of water, do 5 minutes of 4-7-8 breathing, inhale for 4 counts, hold for 7, Exhale for 8. This alone begins resetting your cortisol baseline before the day attacks it. Midday, the cortisol second peak typically hits between 12 p.m. and 2 p.m. for most adults. A 10-minute walk outside during this window has been shown in multiple studies to reduce afternoon cortisol by up to 15%. Not an hour, 10 minutes. Evening. Prioritize sleep onset before 11 p.m. Every hour of sleep lost before midnight carries a disproportionate cost to deep, slow-wave sleep quality and your next-day cortisol response. Now for the HPA axis support I mentioned, I have been personally using an ashwagandha and rhodiola stack for the past. If this video opened your eyes the way it opened mine when I first put all of this research together, share it with one person you know who has been blaming themselves for a body that would not cooperate. They deserve to know this too. Subscribe if you want more content that goes this deep without the fluff. I cover the science that actually explains why your body does what it does, and how to work with it instead of against it. And drop a comment below. Have you ever tracked your stress levels alongside your weight? Tell me what you noticed. I read every single comment in the first 24 hours. Links to the adaptogen stack and the stress tracking app are in the description. Both are affiliate links, which means I earn a small commission if you purchase, at no extra cost to you. I only link what I personally use and believe in. Now go take that first breath. Your nervous system is waiting. Disclaimer. This video is for educational purposes only. Nothing in this video constitutes medical advice. The studies and statistics referenced are for informational context only. Individual results vary. Always consult a qualified healthcare professional before making any changes to your supplement routine, diet, or health protocol.